All right, here we go. We're live. How's everyone doing? Let me know if the audio and video is all okay. Had a little bit of a delay to start this one. My apologies and thank you all for waiting. And let's get straight into it. I'm just going to wait for a couple of you guys to tell me that everything is okay. And I will switch it to my chart view. So we did have a small delay in starting this live stream today. But here we are, we're live. So video, audio, good, perfect. Let's get straight into it. Well, ladies and gents, what did we see in the market? Thank you all for tuning into the previous live streams. You will be well in touch with what's been going on if you were doing that, and it has been perfect, the analysis that we've been sharing on this YouTube channel. One of the main things that I talked to you about is that since we entered this, pretty significant downtrend here, Bitcoin, everything's good, thank you all very much. Ever since we entered this pretty big downtrend right here, Bitcoin actually ended up finding support at the $30,000 level and then bouncing up to all the way up to 42, actually a little bit higher, and now has started to enter what I've been calling on this YouTube channel a descending triangle. So a descending triangle is typically considered to be quite a bearish chart pattern. It's typically something that will continue the trend downwards in any market, but especially in the Bitcoin market. I developed that idea originally. Actually, I had this idea just kind of yesterday, really, where we could end up finding some resistance here. And I developed it by telling you that, we could find some resistance at the 38K level. But if the 38K level breaks, which is this yellow line, we could be looking to rise all the way up to 3940, which was this downward trending blue resistance level right here. And that is exactly where Bitcoin did manage to find a little bit of resistance on this chart. Bitcoin managed to top out at this level once and then twice, and nearly a third time before it ended up eventually collapsing below the 30K level. And this is interesting because Bitcoin actually managed to rise above 30K, which was 38K, which was resistance, and then we found support there twice, and then we ended up falling back down. So, one of the key things that I was talking about in the previous video, in the previous live stream, ladies and gents, and thank you all very much for tuning into that. Do make sure you hit up the likes and subscribe if you are new to this channel. One of the key things I was talking about is that this market is experiencing some very healthy price action right now. The price action that we're seeing across this market is very healthy, it's very organic, we're responding to levels well. Now I had to clarify in that live stream that healthy does not necessarily mean upwards. For me, as a trader, as a regular trader in this market, healthy simply means that it's moving in predictable ways. That we're responding to support levels, bam. We're responding to resistance levels, bam. That's what healthy means to me. Healthy does not necessarily mean that we're trending up to the sky and everything is super, super rosy all the time. That's what healthy might mean to somebody who is delusional, who smokes a lot of opium, somebody who's got a little bit of a tighter grip, a little bit of a tighter grasp on reality. They will not think that's the case. They will actually believe instead very much the opposite, which is that it doesn't really matter which direction we're moving in as long as we're doing it in predictable ways. And that's exactly what we're doing, so I'm very, very happy with that. As I'm going along, I see your comments in the live chat. Please do let me know what you think is going on in the markets. And later on in this live stream, I will go to your questions. I will read out some of the things that you're saying. And I will also give you my thoughts on what I'm seeing right here. So thank you all very much for tuning in. Up to 1,500 viewers. Let's smash up those likes if you already know this is going to be another great live stream. Because what I'm going to do for you in this one is develop this idea a little bit further of this descending triangle. I was meeting with a subscriber last night. So shout out to you. You know who you are. And I was talking to him about this chart pattern and how actually this looks very, very much like a descending triangle now that we got this rejection right here. So it's just kept going in that direction. And this is one of those very typical patterns that Bitcoin will paint in a downtrend. Take a look at this. We're finding support in the same place every time in this blue box, but the resistance that we're encountering is getting lower and lower and lower. And this is a pretty big deal. I mean, this is a very, very real sign that this market is actually starting to condense to the downside, where our resistance is getting lower and lower, and that effectively means that we are compressing this market. The market is being compressed all the way to the downside, and if it's being compressed to the downside, that means that eventually we could be looking at potentially collapsing downwards massively. If this happens to take place inside of a trend which is already bearish, and that is where this starts getting a lot more concerning. If it happens to take place in a trend which is already bearish, where we've already been trending downwards, that then means that we're doing something bearish on a small time frame, while in a larger time frame we're also quite bearish. On a larger time frame, we're also trending downwards. So what that's called is confluence, where multiple, actually it's not confluence, confluence is different indicators. We're just getting a harmonious picture without technicals right now. The long-term time frames on one side are agreeing with the short-term time frames on the other side, and when that happens, I tend to believe that I have a stronger likelihood, I have a higher likelihood of being correct with my analysis, because multiple different forms of analysis are telling me exactly the same thing. And honestly, to an analyst like myself, there's nothing that's more reassuring than that. So I'm actually quite happy to see that that's what we're getting in this market right now. You know, I don't necessarily like the idea that Bitcoin's going to keep on trending downwards and we could be looking at levels like $20,000. Obviously, I want Bitcoin to keep trending up to $100,000. You know, I'm holding Bitcoin. I would get a lot of money if that happened. But the technicals are telling me something a little bit different. And those of you who've been following this channel for a little while now, you're going to know quite well that this channel is not about delivering things to you that you want to hear. It's about delivering the truth. And sometimes the truth is what you want to hear. Sometimes it happens that way. Most of the time it's not. And this is the thing that, you know, a lot of people really need to get past in this market right now, which is that if you find yourself to broadly be in agreement with the people that you're listening to and different things like that, but you're losing money, it's because you're probably losing money. You're probably losing money because you are part of the 90% of people that will lose 90% of their money. This happens to most people in these markets, and it's usually because people don't have the balls. I'm just gonna go right ahead and say it. They don't have the fucking balls to face reality, and instead they want to cocoon up and just imagine that life can actually be pretty easy to them when they buy their lottery ticket, and lottery tickets in this game look like Bitcoins. And unfortunately, it doesn't work that way, and this drop has demonstrated that to us. You know, so if you were prepared, if you were looking at the posts I was putting out in VIP, where I told VIP members that I was selling Bitcoin way earlier, before this drop even happened, if you were prepared to profit off this drop as I did, with Ethereum dropping, I closed a 35% gain, and even selling Ethereum before all of this turned to shit. You can pause this live stream and actually watch and actually read this message that I put into VIP, explaining to members that I was strongly considering selling part or all of my Ethereum holdings, which I then did. Hours later, I sold half of my Ethereum at this point, before the whole big crash even started. This is what happens when you're looking at the market with a perspective of truth, not a perspective of please hug me and make me feel warm and comfortable in the warm embrace of my mother. In this case, people are looking for that with Bitcoin, which I think is crazy. But anyway, it doesn't paint a very happy picture for us, but I think it paints a very realistic one. And one of the key reasons that I think this is a realistic picture right here, ladies and gents, is if we take this back to 2017, what I want to outline for you in this market, in this chart right here, was what happened when we were in 2017. And those of you who've been around for a while, what happened in 2017 was we entered a descending triangle right here. So those of you who've been around for a while, you remember that I've actually brought this example up to you a few times in the past. And when I've done it in the past, the success rate where I was talking about this was pretty high. It actually made me feel uncomfortable. It tended to work out very well. I don't like that because it meant that it was bearish, but at the end of the day, this is the truth. And what we saw that right here, ladies and gents, was that Bitcoin entered a pretty significant downtrend at the $20,000 level. It fell down all the way to 10,000, and then it rebounded up to 17, and then it fell all the way down to 6. And that's where Bitcoin entered this massive descending triangle right here. So that's where we entered this massive bearish continuation pattern. We were originally trading from 20k down, and then we entered this descending triangle, and things got very, very nasty for the market. And that's where we actually started to, you know, kind of be in a very bearish trend for a long time, and eventually actually ended up breaking down as well, all the way down to the $3,000 level. So that is definitely something to keep in mind. That's what we saw in 2017 moving into 2018. I'm sorry, actually 2017 is where we topped, 2018 is where we formed this descending triangle, and we did it again in a similar way to what we're doing right now. We originally were in a bear market, we trended down a little bit, and then we kind of consolidated sideways in a descending triangle, again with resistance sloping downwards and support staying in the same place. So support is where we bounce off, price falls down, bounces up, falls down, bounces up, but each subsequent bounce is weaker and weaker and weaker, showing you that eventually the market is actually losing bullish momentum. And if the market is losing bullish momentum in an already bearish market, as you can see from this massive drop, then that is an indication that actually we could be ready to trend very, very low. You know, because we are kind of the only thing that's bullish in this market was these kind of it was these bounces. Oh, I'm sorry, I can't draw. It was these bounces, but each of these bounces are getting subsequently weaker and weaker, and these are very clear signs that actually the market might be losing the only sense of bullish hope that it had, and eventually when that is finally lost, you are going to be encountering a big drop. That is usually what follows. So this was one example right here where it did eventually collapse through the floor. Of course, Four Flies was here. Four Flies VIP was around back then. We've been around for a very long time, actually. In some form or another, this group has actually been running for nearly 4 years, actually maybe even 4 years now. So quite a long time. I wasn't really a part of it 4 years ago. It was actually, there's a whole story to how this came to where it is now, but it was actually around back here, and this was when I was running it, and I've been running it since, my god, like, I don't know, late 2017. So kind of around this crash is where I took over, and this drop was actually something I traded, so pulled a beautiful 60% profit in there. All VIP members who've been around since then would have seen that, and of course the subsequent rally up I had to trade as well, and made a 360% profit up here as well. So that was one of the biggest gains I ever made in my life. Recently I've done better than that in this market, but it took me a long time to beat this profit, I'll be honest with you, but that was a beautiful gain. And that is what happens when you're playing with a descending triangle. Eventually when you break down, if you're already in a bearish trend, it's going to be pretty nasty. Bitcoin fell from about 6,300 all the way down to 3,100, which, depending on how you measure it, you are looking at a 50% or more, 50% or bigger crash in this market. The good news is that it does work on the reverse side, because the next thing that we did, and this is where it's so poetic, guys, if you know what to look out for, technical analysis is not that difficult. Like, I spotted this descending triangle real quick as soon as we started looking like we were going to tease that resistance level with that blue diagonal line that I showed you a few minutes ago. And as soon as you start getting a feel for this, when you've watched enough of these videos, when you've gone through our Four Flies Academy course, when you've been inside of VIP for a little bit of time, these things will come really quick to you, because you'll know what to look for. There are certain characteristics that Bitcoin poetically loves to repeat. It repeats it just completely ironically. Like, it's very strange. It's almost like we're in a simulation. It just keeps on repeating the same stuff, and if you know what to look out for, this shit can never take you by surprise. So what we had the next time, and this was another thing that Four Flies was even looking at, was an ascending triangle. So it looks something a little bit like this, where it was exactly the same thing, just in reverse. Our support kept on moving higher, but our resistance was staying in the same place, which was a sign that while we were being held back at the same resistance level of $4,000, each subsequent bounce we had was actually angling us to attack a little bit higher. And that just meant that the pressure was condensing to the upside, and eventually we had to explode. Four Flies saw this and went long on Bitcoin literally the day before. I love this trade. I will never ever stop bragging about it. I will brag about this on my bloody deathbed if things go according to plan. Where I went long on this day because of a whole series of things that happened, which I can go into if you guys care for the story, and that did turn into a beautiful profit. So it works in reverse as well, and this all goes to show you that right now we're in a descending triangle. We formed one in 2018, it was terrible. We formed another one in 2019, it was beautiful. And guess what, my friends, we formed another one in 2019 as well, right here. Look at this one. This was another descending triangle that Bitcoin ended up forming again when it started to trigger a bearish rally. So we've seen two big types of descending triangles right here. We've seen one in 2018 where the downtrend just began from 20k down to 6k. We were already in a downtrend, and then we formed a descending triangle. Right here, we initiated a downtrend with a descending triangle. Take a look at this. The same pattern. Pressure is condensing to the downside. Eventually, it must collapse, and we fall down by quite a bit. We end up rebounding. We find resistance at the same level that we were previously finding support. Again, beautiful, beautiful TA. And then eventually we collapse all the way down to 3,000 with the coronavirus market crash. So this was yet another example of a descending triangle working. There's many more examples, but I can't find them right now. And we are in yet another one with our current market cycle right now. So the whole purpose of showing that to you was just demonstrating how historically Bitcoin has used these patterns on very, very large time frames. It's used them to create massive reversals and massive continuation patterns. In 2018, it caused a 50% drop. In 2019, when we formed the ascending triangle, Bitcoin went from 3 to 4,000 all the way up to 14,000. So depending on how you calculate that, you're looking at nearly a 5 times return off one ascending triangle. And then from $14,000, that descending triangle took us all the way down eventually to $3,000. So again, you're looking at a big drop there. So these 3 examples of ascending or descending triangles, which are the same pattern, it doesn't matter if it's bullish or bearish, it's the same pattern. These 3 examples have given us massive reversals in this market. They've given us massive movements in this market, and that definitely is not something that I see is going to end right now. So the fact that we're in another descending triangle now, unless we invalidate this and we somehow peak above this level, this is a descending triangle the way I see it. And actually what I mentioned to the subscriber that I was meeting with yesterday is that potentially we could end up finding support here one more time. And if all of the stars align and it is just, you know, Christmas coming early, my friends, and Bitcoin ends up finding some support down here and bouncing up to find some resistance right here where my $38,000 resistance level and my diagonal blue line converge, where these 2 lines meet. Look, this blue and this yellow line, if these 2 lines meet and Bitcoin finds resistance here, that is just, I can't even, I gotta keep this channel a bit more PG, but like that is beautiful for me. Like, you know, you guys already know what I'm about to say. Like, that would absolutely make my day. That would be stunning. That would be the best show of technicals rejecting the price of Bitcoin, and I would be very convinced to go short at that point if Bitcoin started to find resistance at this kind of point. But in any case, this right now is clearly a descending triangle to me. It's very well defined. We've had 2 hits of support and 2 hits of resistance, so it's early, but you know, you got to be early to call these things, otherwise you're late. And so, you know, potentially I'm seeing maybe one more support bounce here. Maybe we find some resistance going towards just the end of this month, literally the last few days of this month. And by the way, there's only like 6 days left of this month anyway, so there's not too long left. And then potentially we are looking at, you know, continuing on trending downwards. You know, I don't really know what can save Bitcoin right now. It's just the fact that Bitcoin did get this rejection now. We're starting to see more resistance catch up to the trend. If we take a look at where the momentum is on the 4-hour trend, look at that. I mean, it's already been rejecting. It's already been rejecting Bitcoin, a pretty substantial few rejections right here, and we've had the other one right now, most recently just yesterday. You know, momentum is pretty bad for this trend. The Ichimoku cloud is still, you know, I mean, it's creeping lower and lower. I mean, this Ichimoku cloud is what it's basically showing us right here, ladies and gents, is that we could peak above this blue line, we could peak above this yellow line, but if we do that, we're going to encounter resistance really quick again. And I mean, I don't know, do you think that the trend can face that kind of resistance? Because I don't, you know, unless Elon Musk tweets something like, okay, yeah, Tesla is accepting Bitcoin again, unless there's some sort of black swan event like that, you know, I think it's going to be, you're going to have a pretty hard time trying to pinpoint if Bitcoin is going to be able to, you know, get a massive $10,000 spike right now. From a technical perspective, you know, not taking into account that crazy freak events can happen, this doesn't look very hopeful to me. You know, above resistance is more resistance. Good luck. You know, like, that's not a good setup for the market to continue rising up. And again, I gotta make it super clear. I want the market to go up. I'm gonna make a lot of money. I got my Bitcoin investments. I want Bitcoin to go to 100K. If Bitcoin goes to 100K from here, I've nearly tripled my money. I'm super happy with that. That's absolutely phenomenal. But that's not the reality. And the reality is this instead, ladies and gents. While I'm accepting that eventually I think this market is going to end up trending higher, right now I'm also accepting that it might not. Right now I'm also accepting that right now these technicals are terrible. They look very weak for the market. We're forming everything that could possibly be bearish for this market. So I would rather trade this market and earn more Bitcoin so that eventually when it does hit 100,000 or 500,000 or whatever the hell else you want to jack yourself off to, whenever it hits those targets, I'm going to have more Bitcoins, which means that if I've only got, say, 1 Bitcoin right now and Bitcoin hits 100K, I would rather trade to earn 2 Bitcoins so that when Bitcoin hits 100K, I will have 200 instead of just 100K. Do you know what I mean? Like, I would rather compound my Bitcoins right now because eventually I think it's going to get super high, and then I'll enjoy that Bitcoin rise even more. That is something which has always been my perspective in this market for a very long time. Obviously, it's been working out very, very well. It's been working out phenomenally for VIP members. Take a look at this. I need to update these testimonials, but these are just so damn impressive. During the crash, at a profit, 108%, 74%, learning a lot through Forfly's VIP. Haven't been trading nearly as much. This person joined VIP along with many other people. They will join VIP. They will think, a lot of people think that, in order to be a successful trader, you need to be ripping like 50 trades a day. Like if you're trading more than like 2 times a day, you are most likely over trading, in my opinion. And in my opinion, good news for you doesn't mean anything because I'm an idiot, but a lot of people will join Forfly's VIP. They will watch how I'm trading. They will watch how I'm conducting analysis and how I'm making my decisions on what I trade and where and how and so on. And people will actually decide to trade a lot less because I don't trade nearly as much as people think I do. I say this quite a bit on this YouTube channel, but I only trade maybe once or twice a week. And that is by design. One of the biggest reasons that my success rate in trading is so high, and that like when I make losses, I do tell you about them on this YouTube channel, but you don't hear about them often because I don't make losses often. One of the reasons that happens is because I pick my trades really carefully, and so I would rather make one trade that hits it really well out of the park, one trade that hits a 50%, 100% profit. I would rather do that than 5-10% profits, 10% profits in a row. Now obviously when you compound that, that's going to be higher than the one big profit, but I would rather make one quality trade than a few okay but not so great trades. And the reason for that is there's a lot of risk involved. And so what people will do, and you're seeing it on screen right now, bam, 108, 74, 159, fucking $80,000, 96%. What you're seeing is that people will take this approach when they join VIP. They'll kind of learn it through osmosis watching me do it. But it'll be a life-changing experience so far, to say the least. They will learn a lot, they will make a lot of money, they will not be sacrificing gains, not only in percentages, but also not in dollars. People are not going to be making less money just because of this more conservative approach, so it really does kind of mix the best of both worlds. We've been blowing up, we've just passed 1,200 members. The steps to join are on screen right now. I can't believe I have to say this is going to take a lot of you guys by surprise, but I've been on the phone with my team for like 2 hours today, right when I woke up, because I am still in Los Angeles, and they are overloaded. Like they can't take the load. So we're gonna keep it running a little bit longer. If it continues to get as crazy as it is right now with demand, I will not be accepting new VIP members until we've implemented more things to scale this up. Because from the product side, we can keep doing what we're doing, but we literally cannot handle the number of messages we're getting every single day right now. So if this keeps going like this, we will be shutting off new VIP registrations. That makes your chance to get in right now probably one of the best times. We're still running a discount. This discount is available for you. That means you're getting a great price to enter VIP in. Obviously, we price in Bitcoin, so your price in Bitcoin has gone down as well, on top of the discount that we're already offering you. And we might even be looking to kind of shut off those registrations if we continue to not be able to keep up with this demand. So if we haven't messaged you back, by the way, please just be a little bit patient. We are doing our best. It's not just me. I've got another person handling the messages, and another person, and another person. We've got, including me, 4 people that are trying to keep up with you guys. And even with that, we're looking to, we just literally, what is it, like an hour ago interviewed somebody else. So it's getting pretty wild. I just got a notification that somebody else joined. So if you do want to get in, now is the time. Definitely reach out. But let's take it back to the analysis here. This descending triangle is definitely quite concerning. And let's talk about where this could end up taking us. So one of the ways you can measure how low this kind of descending triangle can take you in this market is measuring from the bottom to the top how high this descending triangle measures. And then all you do is you essentially just drag that line down to the breakout point, which would be roughly around, let's say over here, it would be roughly, just see another person join. Wow, that was quick. To 30,000, and if we drag this line down to 30,000, that, oh wow, that takes us to a target of $17,000, which is to say that this descending triangle's height stretches from 30,000 all the way up to 42,000, which is a $12,000 move. So measuring $12,000 down from here would take us down to roughly $18,000. Now, obviously, I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think we're going below $20,000, but it puts us pretty damn close to 20,000. This does not have to be exact. It just gives you a general idea that if you are going to break down from a pattern like this, you're probably going to break down with a similar height to which you formed this pattern. This is not a very technical way of saying it. I forgot which actual words to use from this, but you're measuring, this is called the flagpole length. You're measuring the flagpole length to forecast where you might end up falling down to, and that does put us down to $20,000. So obviously I don't think we're going down that low, but it does give you an idea that we're probably not going to drop just by a few $1,000s. Like, it's probably going to be a pretty substantial drop, maybe like 5-6k at least. That's definitely what I'm thinking. I think definitely 25-24k is on the cards, maybe even a little bit lower than that as a final kind of drop. And actually, one of the things that I wanted to cover with you in this live stream, ladies and gents, was actually the idea of how this thing could actually drop purely based off psychology. So you know that there's a lot of very smart people here that are very good at accumulating Bitcoins. Those of you who've been around for a little while, you will know very well now that actually there are a lot of, whales and bigger, smarter players in this market who know how to kind of spike psychology in these markets and scare people and excite people. So clearly that excitement phase was enjoyed quite well. Now we're kind of in one of those scary phases. And the thing that we need to keep in mind about this, ladies and gents, is that if we're in a delicate market situation like this right now, and it looks to whales meaning big holders, they're called whales, it's just colloquial language, if it looks to them like they can get a better entry by manipulating Bitcoin, i.e. by causing crazy psychological surges in the market, for lack of a better term, and they can do that by kind of, triggering descending triangle patterns and breaking down. Well, that means that you can scare a lot of the common people out of their Bitcoin holdings around 20k, 30k, because maybe they bought at 40, 50. They're going to sell it because they've lost fucking half of their money. I mean, come on, let's be honest. Like, you bought 2-3 weeks ago, you've lost half of your money. There's no way around it. You're in a massive loss. So people like that, they will end up kind of panic selling if this kind of drop does start to happen that I was showing you on the chart just a minute ago. And if that's the case, well, who's going to be buying up those Bitcoins? Because realistically, these are beautiful support levels down towards $20,000. When you look at a trading textbook, like a real trading textbook, something that teaches you how to trade, something that teaches you how to analyze, the thing that analysts like myself will just cream over is the opportunity to buy an asset after it went above its all-time high and then came back down to the all-time high, the previous all-time high, which in this case is $20,000. If it goes above 20k, up to 60, and then back down to 20, this area right here, 20, is what you're praying to God for. And if you eventually get it, it's going to be the people who actually have the balls, for lack of a better word, again, the courage, sorry to the women, just the courage to actually commit to buying Bitcoin at those kind of levels. And most people won't. The common folk won't. The people who bought at 50k, 60k, 40k, they've lost, more than half of their money. They're not buying shit at those levels. They are terrified. They've lost half their life savings. It's their kids' college fund. It's a big problem. Those people are not going to be in the market at that kind of time. And for that reason, I mean, it is, good luck. It's gonna get pretty nasty very quickly in that kind of situation, and that is typically exactly how these markets are manipulated to kind of let these bigger players reaccumulate some very cheap Bitcoins. And then guess what happens? They eventually, let's switch it back to the chart, eventually those Bitcoins get redistributed into the market at significantly higher levels. So obviously these crashes are going to keep on happening. I was one of the only YouTubers in this space, maybe apart from Crypto Kirby, that continuously warned of Tone Vase also was saying it, and Carl the Moon, that was saying that a big crash like this is entirely possible. I obviously wanted us to go higher, and we had the technicals on a short-term time frame to tell us that we would, but these warning signs, if we crash below 50, I was very vocal, if we crash below 50, we're going way lower, we're going down to 42, if we fall below that, we're going to 38, if we fall below that, we're going to 30. This analysis has been on point every step of the way. If you've been paying attention to stuff like this, that wouldn't take you by surprise. That's why, you're watching my analysis right now, you might be thinking, wow, he's super calm, now I'm feeling calm. There's nothing to be surprised about. This is healthy price action at the end of the day. This is healthy price action. We're moving in predictable ways. We're responding to support levels. We're responding to resistance levels. You can't ask for anything more as an analyst. This is pretty good. And so, there's no reason to be feeling too worried about this other than the fact that you've lost a lot of money. That's a lesson to learn from. And from there, you can pick up your shit and you can do better next time. And if you want to take that approach, then welcome to the VIP group. It's exactly for you. I mean, it's just been beautiful. Look, not trading as much as before, but seeing that beautiful account growth. Used to be delusional and probably would have lost this person's entire bank account if they never joined VIP. Thanks, Sammy. Absolutely beautiful. Making money while this drop is happening. Look, this person entered a short position at 32, exited at 29 with a short position. Bam, 100% profit. If you don't know what a short position means, if you don't know what leverage means or anything like that, don't worry about it. We've got the tutorials for this inside of 4Flies VIP, so you can get all the information about it by following these steps on screen. Just ask me when you've joined VIP for the tutorials and all these things, and we'll give you all of that. You'll learn it all from A to Z. We don't really have issues with stuff like that because the tutorials are very thorough. They're recorded by me, and if you need anything else, you can always request it, and we'll always give it to you. Once again, if you're looking for an exchange to trade on, by the way, Bybit is the place to be. I've been with them for years. Absolutely love them. Link in the description for you to check them out. They do allow you to trade Bitcoin, Ethereum, and such on leverage. Actually, they have a lot of trading pairs. Take a look at this. So they've got bcash, Link, Litecoin. I don't even know what XTZ is. Polkadot, Uniswap. They got everything. They're adding more. Aave wasn't even here a little while ago, if I'm not mistaken. So they're adding more. Doge is coming as well. Great leverage exchange. I've been with them for a long time. Way less shady than Binance. It's not even close. Way better performance than Binance as well, in my opinion. So there's no excuse for being on Binance right now other than laziness. Yes, I know it's a lot of people's first exchange because they have amazing marketing and they are actually kind of good at what they do, but they're super shady. They steal money. I'm not even going to go into all the reasons that they're a terrible exchange. I've had an absolutely terrible experience with them. I would never touch them again. The shameless behavior from an exchange that big is absolutely terrible. Bybit, I've found, is much better, and if you do follow the link below, which is also going to give you a $1,600 trading bonus, that is actually going to allow you to come to me if you ever have any issues, because if you've been referred by me, I can then go to my manager that I have at Bybit, because I do work with them. I am in a partnership with them, and I can make sure that any issues you have, I can just kind of call them up and tell them, hey, look, I got this person that I referred, make sure you fix this person's problem a little bit faster. We'll escalate it in the food chain and things like that. I've done that before, and I'm very happy to help wherever I can. That's something that most YouTubers would do, by the way. So if you're not referred by me, but by somebody else, you can try and contact them. For me, it's very easy to contact me. It's just the same stuff for 4Flies VIP. Just contact me with these steps, and I will get back in touch with you. But yeah, Bybit right here. When you do sign up with the link down below, you're going to be gaining up to $1,600 in referral bonuses. This campaign ends in the next few days. It's only for this month, so make sure you take advantage of it. Right now, I'm in the United States, so I am using a VPN to connect to Bybit. Everybody else I know in the US does that. I've never heard of an issue, but obviously I can't endorse that. It is up to you, but it's definitely a great exchange. I'm going to carry on with a little bit more of this analysis and then head over to your questions and some altcoin analysis. So now is the time, if you do have any questions, to please write them in the comment section. If you have been enjoying this live stream so far, then make sure to hit up those likes, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're new around here as well. I think we're at like 93,000 subscribers. If we can get this thing to 100k by the end of this month, that would be amazing. Just a personal note from me, this YouTube channel started out 10 years ago when I was 9 years old. No, that can't be right. Yeah, no, I was 9 years old. I was 9 years old when I started this YouTube channel, and we're already looking at 100k. That is just phenomenal. That's absolutely crazy. So any more support that you guys can throw, it's always much appreciated. That's why I come on these live streams every day. I love to deliver them. You guys love to watch them, so it's my absolute pleasure, and thank you all so much for the support that you've already provided. That's why this content keeps getting better. That's why I'm working around the clock with my team to keep giving you better content for these live streams as well. But let's switch it right back to this descending triangle analysis right here. This is very important. Just bear with me 1 second. This descending triangle right here, it's the only real pattern that I'm seeing in the market right now. I'm sure that there's other things if you're looking at other analysts right now, but this is the main one that I'm seeing as potentially being a little bit challenging for Bitcoin. If Bitcoin is able to rise above kind of 39,000 now, I would say that that's going to invalidate this descending triangle. But my god, if we start trending lower, that's it. This thing it's confirmed as far as I'm concerned. We could find support here, but I wouldn't necessarily bank on it. I think now is roughly the time where this support is due to fail. If it doesn't fail here, potentially one more test and it will. I'm just not so optimistic about it. So that is something that I want to make very, very clear in this live stream right now. You know, we could absolutely still continue trending higher, but I don't think it's likely. If we do, resistance is at 42. I would expect a rejection up here, and that would start to look like a double top. So again, that could be quite bearish. If we don't get a rejection there, and if we actually manage to rise above 42, that's where I become bullish. So right now I am quite bearish. Anywhere below 42 is basically being under the water as far as I'm concerned. 42 is that water level. If we're able to rise above 42,000, I'm going to become a lot more optimistic in this market and definitely start expecting that this thing could be ready to trend a little bit higher. So that would be quite interesting for me to keep an eye on. I will be looking to see if Bitcoin is able to rise above levels like 42,000, and if so, I will actually be trading something like a long position inside of VIP, where as usual, all VIP members just like these kind of post just like these right here, where VIPs see what kind of profits I'm in, and more importantly, what I'm doing with those positions. Like I said, I've closed it all. I mentioned I closed all of my Ethereum position at this level. Now that is $3,700, and just to put this into perspective, right now Ethereum is at 2,500, and it's crashed down to like 1,800. So you know, Forflies VIP well ahead of the curve there. You know, actually selling Ethereum at a beautiful price. And actually, before this trade, before I even closed this trade, I sold 50% of all of my Ethereum holdings, again because I did see this drop coming. And Forflies VIP was completely prepared for something. Well, not completely, but very well prepared compared to you know, kind of the rest of the market. So definitely a good place to be right here in this in this space. I mean, you know, the thing that I keep on saying about this is it's super hot right now. You know, this is where it's the easiest time to make money if you know what you're doing. But if you don't, you're shooting yourself in the foot. You're missing out on opportunities. It might make you revenge trade because you know that other people are making great gains where you could have, but you didn't have, you know, whatever you needed to commit to good ideas, or maybe you didn't even have the tools to come up with good ideas. VIP is something that's been able to help people overcome those kind of challenges. There's a lot waiting for you with that discount. And like I said, we are so overloaded with inquiries right now. We just had 2 people join during this live stream. We passed 1,200 members. I will, if it continues like this, I will need to shut down new registrations for VIP. And I mean like literally today or tomorrow, because as I said, I was on the phone with my team for 2 hours before this live stream. We interviewed someone new just before this live stream as well. We're doing a lot to keep up with the demand. We've never had an issue with this before because we're actually quite well prepared for these kind of things. But this time it's gotten a little bit too much. So if you really want to secure your place with the discount that we're offering right now, a very exclusive discount, then follow these steps on screen and ask me how to join, and we'll get you inside of the Forflies VIP group. We'll get you all set up with the tutorials. Depending on which plan you take, we're also going to give you the advanced course completely free of charge, and also phone calls with myself. Yearly members are getting phone calls with myself. We'll do one when you join, one after you've gone through the advanced academy, and others whenever you like. You know, we don't really have a hard limit on it. Nobody has ever abused it, so we're pretty much just doing one whenever they're requested, and it's never been an issue so far. I only promise one, but you know, I'll do a lot more. And that is part of the yearly package. So if you think that it would be useful to speak to me on the phone and things like that, that's also available for you. And you can find out exactly how to join right now by pausing this live stream and following these 3 steps on screen. Click on the first link in the description down below, and then on the @Forflies button, and then on send message to ask me how to join Forflies VIP, and I'll send you all the information right then and there. But let's take it back to the analysis now very briefly before I start going through your questions. Please do begin dropping your questions in the comments now. This is the I think I've beaten this to death now. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else that I've missed. One second, I'll check my notes. Bear with me. I've covered the Ichimoku resistance. Yeah, and then there's just more resistance on Ethereum and Link. Let's take a look at Link. Link is apparently getting hit pretty badly. It's fallen below the 618 Fibonacci level. That is terrible news. That is very bad. So Link has another major altcoin, which is of course tradable on Bybit, which you can sign up to with the link down below. And it has topped out at 53. Currently down to 25, so it is experiencing that broad kind of 50% correction that most other assets had, but down to its low, it's fallen down by 70%, so pretty pretty damn disastrous drop right here. I think if Link can convincingly reclaim this level, it could be ready to trade a little bit higher. If not, I think it's in a little bit of trouble. Ethereum's actually managed to pass the $2,500 resistance area that I said it would have to beat yesterday. But as I also said yesterday, it's still at the mercy of Bitcoin. So right now, from a technical perspective, there's actually nothing holding Ethereum back. Well, there is, but there's very little as far as resistance goes on this trend, because Ethereum did not really establish it. And by the way, these squiggly lines right here are where I announced to VIP members in this post that I would be selling Ethereum. So beautiful timing there. And it was on this subsequent drop that I actually sold. But on the way up, there was no resistance for Ethereum. And so I wouldn't really expect any resistance on the way up again. There was no resistance on the way up. There was no support on the way down as a result of that. And as a result of that, I don't expect that there's going to be any real resistance on the way up. And how do I know there was no resistance? Quite simply because we didn't really trade sideways on the way up. We kind of traded in a parallel ascending channel. We didn't really have any major reversals that took us down. If we had a major reversal at a point like this, I would call this area resistance, but we didn't get anything like that. We didn't really stumble with this trend. It was almost just a straight, we were moving up, sometimes fast, sometimes slowly, but we were moving up. There was no sideways movement, there was no pullback, and that's how I know that there was no resistance. And on the way down, there was a little bit of support. I mean, we were getting some small bounces right here, but for the most part, I mean, this was nothing significant. I mean, the longest kind of continuation pattern that we had on the way down was still only 2.5 days, and at that, I mean, I would barely even call it support. So I'm not really expecting much resistance on this Ethereum chart, and that's why it really comes back to what I said in the previous video, where this whole market is at the mercy of Bitcoin right now. Ethereum has passed its resistance. As I've just demonstrated to you, it doesn't have resistance, and that means theoretically it should be able to rise massively right now, but it's not. And the reason it's not is because people are not willing to speculate on this market right now. People do not want to take speculative bets on this market. They do not want to be betting more money in riskier markets right now. They want to keep their money safe, which means either putting it in US dollars, putting it in gold, putting it in stocks, or in Bitcoin. And that means, when the big daddy, when Bitcoin, the king, when the main, star of the show is sick, nobody cares about these more speculative, these more risky bets. Nobody cares about Ethereum. Nobody cares about Link, about, you name it, whatever your bloody shit coin is. Okay, one of them is pumping today. Congratulations, it's Christmas for you. No one cares about the rest of the altcoin market. And you know that because if you're in the altcoin market, you probably lost a very, very decent chunk of change lately. And so that is your way of kind of, knowing and learning in this market that when the big guy has been shot down, you can have everything telling you from a technical perspective that these markets are going to rise, but they're not going to until and unless the main thing is healthy. And right now it's not. So that is very, very important. Guys, if you're enjoying this stream, make sure you smash up those likes, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't done so already. Thank you all very much for tuning in. I really do appreciate all of your support. I'm just gonna start heading through to your questions right now, so bear with me. There's a lot of there's a lot of comments in today's stream, so I've just got to kind of pull them up. What is a VPN? A VPN is a virtual proxy network, and that is basically a very smart way of saying something that hides your location, which means that if you are in the United States, for example, you wouldn't be able to access an exchange like Bybit without one, because the United States is a terrible, tyrannical country. And they think that they know what's better for you than you know for yourself, because you're in a free country, so your government knows more than you, and they can control you because you're in a free country. Welcome to America. So you need a VPN to get around that kind of shit. And if you are in the United States, that's what I'm doing when I'm using Bybit out here. I'm connecting to a VPN. I can't tell you which VPN to use, but there are a lot of them. There's ExpressVPN, NordVPN. There's a lot. You can just Google it. There's a lot. I would recommend the paid ones. Paid ones are always best, but obviously, it depends on you. There's a $1,600 trading bonus for those of you who sign up with this link right now, and this bonus ends in a few days, so it's literally your last few days to cash in on that. Make sure you do. It would be a big mistake to miss out on such a beautiful referral bonus, even if you don't even plan on using it. That's $1,600, up to $1,600 that you're going to get for free. Like, you don't even have to do it. You just have to deposit your money on it. You can withdraw your money the next day, and you get to keep that cash. So any profits you make are yours. You could make a crazy speculative bet. You lose it all. You don't lose anything. You make money. It's yours. Bam. you know. So I think it's well worth checking out. And of course, you can also use that money to kind of play around with the buttons on the exchange, because there's also a tutorial down in the description for you as well. Flies, how long do you hold a trade and what's my stop loss strategy? So I try to close my trades fairly early. I don't like to keep my trades open for too long, because a trade open means that there is risk, and I don't like risk. However, it does depend on the trade, you know. So there are times where I keep my trade open for a few weeks, which is rare. Most of the time I look to close them within a couple of days. In terms of my stop loss strategy, I move my stop loss to break even as soon as I can with every single trade. Very few exceptions, and it tends to work very, very well. Nitin, you're awesome, mate. Thank you very much. I wish I looked at your analysis. So less hopium and spot on analysis purely on TA. Thank you very much. That's what we're all about. You know, I'm not about kind of, like I said, I always say, you know, this channel could be about what you want to hear, but it's better if it's the truth. You know, that does mean that we're very unpopular. A lot of people won't like this channel, but that's completely fine. I'm not here to be liked. I'm here to make money, and so are you guys. So, I mean, that's the nature of these markets. You know, these markets are not here for a social event where we're getting around wearing fucking Bitcoin t-shirts and Bitcoin hats looking like fucking idiots. Like, we're here to make money. And if that's what you're about, then this is the channel for you. If you want to go around all patriotic, you know, wearing a Bitcoin pin on your shirt looking weird as fuck in public, that's you. You know, like, I love Bitcoin. I think it's a great way to transact. I love spending it. I love, you know, using it. And in fact, the whole VIP model only accepts Bitcoin because it's a beautiful way to transact. But at the end of the day, we are here to make money. So if that's something that sounds interesting to you, it will mean that we're going to be looking ourselves dead in the eye, in the mirror, saying, I'm an idiot. And we're going to be learning from those lessons. It's going to be bloody uncomfortable. And by the end of it, you'll make some nice profits that the other people around you, wearing their little Bitcoin pins, will not be seeing. So welcome to reality. Let's see what else we have here in these comments. What are my thoughts on Solana? Haven't heard of it. Please don't spam. Let's see what else we have here. Guys, I gotta get going relatively soon. I'm gonna take a few last questions and then I'm gonna head off. I don't have too long for the rest of this live stream, but I will probably come back with another video. Profiles, am I in the war room? No, but I used to be. Check the Fibonacci. That is not a valid Fibonacci, Nathan, from what I can think of. But anyway, let me check it. Maybe I'm wrong. Hang on. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Let me just check it just in case. This person wants me to draw a Fibonacci from here, if I'm not mistaken. From, what did you say? 27K to top. Is that what you were describing? Hang on. This person wants me to look at this descending triangle. Nope, I have no idea actually. I'm sorry. Nope, sorry, I can't see that Fibonacci you're talking about. Let's see what other questions we have here. I'm sorry if I am missing your questions. I might start doing VIP live streams, to be honest, because there's too many questions right now. Any plans to organize a meetup while I'm visiting Southern California? Absolutely, yes, Danila. Follow my Instagram. It is right here. Sammy Loyal with 1 underscore. There are a lot of you're gonna follow me and you're gonna get DM'd by a shitload of impersonators. It's happening on Twitter, Instagram, whatever. This is my only Instagram page. It's my full name, Sammy Loyal, with 1 underscore at the end. So type this into Instagram. Also my Twitter, I might announce it on Twitter, unlikely. Just check out the Instagram page. I will tell you when and where it's happening. I'm busy organizing it, and I will do it before I leave LA. So if you are in Los Angeles, come over. I'm not sure where it will be yet, but bear with me and I'll drop all the details right here on my Instagram stories. And I will give you a few reminders just in case you miss it. Let's see what else we have here. We're dropping fast right now, testing 30K tonight, or wait till the weekend. We're not dropping very fast at all. I'm not sure what you're seeing. We've literally dropped by like $200, so I don't know. I definitely wouldn't say that we're hitting 30k tonight, because this is not fast. If this is fast, then so is this and this and this, and you're just gonna go crazy. Let's see what else we have here in the comments for questions. Do I think if Facebook admit tomorrow that they bought Bitcoin, do you know that they bought Bitcoin? You're saying that they admit it, it will pump the price? If they actually did buy Bitcoin and it becomes public, of course, yeah, it would probably pump the price of Bitcoin. How long do you think it'll take for Bitcoin to go up this year? Eventually, I think Bitcoin's going to recover back up to 65,000, and I think it could literally be done within the next 2 months. You know, like not too long. I think it's pretty close. There's so much volatility. Like, this market is so tradable right now. There's so much volatility right here. When opening a trade, what do I think is the best percentage of an account balance to use? I use between 0.8 and 8%. Stretched up to 15 at an absolute stretch for exceptions, but I can't tell you what you should use. And obviously, most of the best traders in the world are somewhere around there between 1 and 8% usually. Frothlice, hope you're feeling better. Yes, I am. Thank you very much. Oh, by the way, I got a lot of messages from you guys on Telegram. I'm sorry I couldn't reply to them. I was too sick to even open my phone the other day. But thank you all for your wishes. I tend to sometimes fall sick quite quickly, and then recover just as quickly with a V-shaped correction. So thank you very much. I have a Bitcoin position with an average cost of 49,000 in one account. I can't tell you if I would sell. I'm sorry. That's it doesn't matter where you bought Bitcoin. Like, if you bought Bitcoin higher up, okay, you made a bad decision, but you still have Bitcoin right now. So the only thing that matters is, are you still bullish on Bitcoin? If the answer is yes, then hold your Bitcoin. If the answer is no, then sell your Bitcoin. It really is that simple. So it doesn't matter where you bought it. That is only going to increase the pain you're going to feel. And of course, there's going to be a little bit of pain. You made a bad decision. Get over it. You're going to learn from it. You're going to do better next time. Where you bought, unfortunately, doesn't really matter too much. I didn't mean to answer that harshly, just, kind of a little bit too excited with the market right now. Guys, I have to get going very soon. I am running out of time, but I'm going to take a final few questions and then head off. Someone else sees a symmetrical triangle. Yes, you could also say it's a symmetrical triangle, so let me point that out to you. Someone is saying a symmetrical triangle, which would look a little bit more like this. And that would indicate that instead of, I was saying that we're going to trend a little bit like this and then eventually collapse down, this person is saying that we're going to trend a little bit like this and then perhaps eventually collapse down. They both mean the same thing. It could be that we find support here instead of down here. It could be that we find support here instead of here. Whatever happens doesn't matter. We're still in a bearish continuation pattern within a very bearish trend. So it wouldn't matter to me. I mean, symmetrical triangle, descending triangle, it's the same thing. It's still a bearish continuation pattern. It's still a continuation pattern, still happening in a bearish trend. How do I deal with losing a shit ton of realized money during this crash? You look yourself in the mirror, you tell yourself you're a fucking idiot, you write down all the reasons that you lost your money, you write down all the things you could have done to prevent it, and then you do better next time. You hope that you can learn lessons the easy way as well. It's a pretty brutal game. You know, the thing about trading is, like, I meet a lot of people and they think that I'm some trading god, and maybe I have that appearance just because I'm a YouTuber, but it's obviously not true. And one of the things I keep telling people is I might have been a good trader on the day. And this part is really important, guys. Please, like, if you're gonna take notes on it, if you ever take notes about my videos, this is what you need to take notes on. I might be a good trader, I'm gonna say I was, when I decided to do things like sell my Bitcoin right here at 52,000, announced it to Frothlice VIP members, or perhaps, when I made this profit on Ethereum, when I sold my Ethereum before the big crash. I might have been a good trader, I might have been a good analyst. But that was yesterday. Today, I'm shit again, right? Today, I might do something good, I might make a good trade, I might have a good little bit of analysis, but tomorrow, I'm going to be shit again. And that's what people don't typically get. A lot of people will, they'll have one lucky break and they'll think that you're a good trader just forever moving forward. You're not. You're only a good trader once, and you got to keep on working hard at it every single day to stay good. And that's something that I take very seriously. So you know, you'll see that, you know, when I'm making good positions, when I'm making good profits in these kind of markets, I don't let myself become too big-headed about it. You know, obviously I'll brag about it on YouTube because, you know, I'm a YouTuber. It's kind of part of what I have to do. But you know, as an actual trader, like, I'm keeping super calm. You know, I'm making a profit. I'm not rushing into trade again. I'm not feeling like a genius or anything like that. You know, I'm really trying to be very, very clinical and careful about what I'm doing, because, you know, not doing that can cost you a lot. So you know, there's a whole battle that goes on both ways. And, you know, to really go back to your question about how you not, you know, deal with I mean, there's no dealing with feeling shit. You have to feel shit. You just lost a lot of money. What else are you gonna feel? You're gonna feel happy about it? Like, you're not some fucking monk. Like, you're a trader, you know? Like, you have to feel bad about it. There's no acceptable reason for having lost a lot of money in this market. There were signs that showed us this was coming. If you weren't prepared for it, it means that you didn't carry out enough due diligence before you entered the market. So if you're in a loss now from what you entered crypto with at any point, there's a lot of thinking to do. You know, like, there's no easy way out. Like, if you want to, either you pack your shit and you leave, and that's cool because trading is not for most people, and you're probably going to do better, you know. But if you actually want to stay in the game, you got to really brush up on your skills. You got to start reading some TA books, go through some courses. You know, we're offering you our courses for free with a lot of our Fourth Slides VIP memberships, by the way. It's going to teach you all about trading from A to Z. Everything you need to know, everything I know, not the way I learned it, because I learned it in a very disorganized way, but the way I think would be most beneficial. We've had amazing results from that course. That course, in combination with our VIP membership, has it's the package that one of our members joined VIP with last year. He turned into a millionaire in 10 months. He started with $30,000, became a millionaire. And obviously, you know, other people are losing money. The results are not like this everywhere. These are obviously, you know, 30K to a million was obviously a very rare result. You know, it's not like that all the time, but you know, it's happened at the same time. You know, I mean, these are results that we've seen side by side. So it's absolutely beautiful. And that's one of the things you might want to consider. You know, it doesn't have to be my VIP group. There are books. They're linked in the description. You can Google them. There are $10 courses on Udemy. You know, you pick what you think would be useful to you. Will I take off from my seat to the moon soon? I'm not so sure about that. I don't have a jetpack strapped to me at the moment. I think we're in submarine mode right now. Do I sell my hold portfolio? No, I don't. I keep holding. Swissborg has made a nice recovery. Nothing more I can say about that, unfortunately. It needs to recover above $1 until I become optimistic. Right now it's at 90 cents, and if it's at 90 cents, it's in a bad place in my opinion. As long as it's below $1, it's in a bad place in my opinion. It's a beautiful buy zone, but I would be much happier if it was above $1. How does market manipulation tie into my analysis? Oh, that's a very open-ended question, so I can't cover that in this video, in this live stream. I'm sorry. Did I analyze the stock market? Not recently. If it goes down the toilet even more, we're in big trouble. Absolutely. So if conventional markets are in trouble, then markets like Bitcoin are probably going to be even worse, because the fact is, ladies and gents, these conventional markets are quite big. And so is Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin is quite big as well, which means that it's not going to be driven by people like you and I. You know, people like you and I are going to be putting our money into the market, and we're not even going to budge the market. You know, people actually think, by the way, that I can manipulate. People think that I'm spreading fear so that I can crash the market down. Like, I wish I had that much power. That would be amazing. But, you know, people like you and I, every YouTuber in the world combined is not going to dent Bitcoin for more than an hour. You know, like, we might cause a $1,000 spike and it's going to be erased inside of an hour. You know, like, we just don't have that much power. The people who have the real power in this market right now are the bigger players. And guess where they happen to be? They happen to be in markets, in indices like the S&P 500, like the NASDAQ, index, and so on. That's where the real money is. It's in the stock markets. It's in, you know, whatever other traditional markets, you know, you would see on Wall Street and things like that. So when those markets are hurting, when they're in a bad place, when they look uncertain, you know, that's actually where mainstream traders and investors who tend to be bigger players, like they have much more money, that's where they're going to be feeling upset. They're going to be feeling scared and uncertain and fearful and doubtful. And remember what I said about Ethereum earlier on in this live stream? I said that the reason that Ethereum is not rising is because Bitcoin, the king of the space, the main thing, is weak. So if the main thing is weak, why would anybody want to take an even riskier bet on something like Ethereum. You know, because Ethereum is a riskier bet. It's a smaller coin, and that's the end of the conversation. I don't care what you think about the fundamentals or why you think Ethereum is better than Bitcoin, because maybe you're going to point those arguments out. The fact is, to a trader with money, it is a riskier bet than Bitcoin, right? So if Bitcoin itself looks weak, what are people going to think about Ethereum? And I pose the same question to you comparing the S&P 500 index, one of the biggest indices in the United States, to Bitcoin. Right? If this is in a bit of an awkward place and people are worried that we're looking at a crash or whatever else that looks bearish for a major index in this world, what do you think people are going to be thinking about Bitcoin? Because the people who have lost money in an index like the S&P 500 are the same people that you are hoping will pump Bitcoin upwards. But if they've lost money, why will they take a riskier bet? You know, when you lose money, are you looking to take more risk, or are you looking to cocoon up a little bit, get back in your shell, and feel comfortable in a warm blanket? Or are you going out to fight even more? You know, like, most people, they're not going to want to take additional risk when they've already lost money. And you need people with deep pockets to be filling Bitcoin up right now. And that's just not going to happen when everyone's very scared. In conventional markets, good luck. It's not happening. Like, I've never seen that happen. Since this major correlation with worldwide markets and Bitcoin became a thing, Bitcoin has not been... Someone point an exception out to me, like, because I haven't seen it. Bitcoin has not been able to perform well when the rest of the world's markets are not performing well. Hopefully I'm wrong. Somebody correct me. I hope I'm wrong. Let's see what other questions we have here, and I'll round this off. This is a passionate live stream. This was very passionate. Do I carry out analysis on traditional markets? Not often. I don't trade them much. Hey bro, you mentioned before how the US dollar has fallen 13% in 10 months and currently free falling. I don't remember saying that. How come speculative assets are not reacting to the US dollar? I have no idea. I would love to comment on that a little bit more, but I'm not a macroeconomic... I can't even say the word. I'm not a macroeconomist. So I would be right, Nathan. I told you, like, not to spam. Come on, you're pushing it a bit too far, aren't you? I'm gonna put you in timeout now in the naughty corner. But no, I would love to comment on it. I'm just not qualified to, so I'd almost say I think that's a question for Tone Vase. Go to Tone Vase. Tone Vase will be doing a live stream, I'm sure. Cobain, you're asking if you're banned in the chat. No, you're not. I'm sorry, there's just too many messages, so I do tend to miss them. Spot on, thank you very much. Do I have a favorite place to be? Los Angeles is very high up there. Specifically, maybe a place like Malibu, and Dubai is absolutely great as well. Do I think ETH 2.0, didn't that already happen? I have no idea. I don't really think it's going to do much for Ethereum's price. Could this be an upside down head and shoulders? Yeah? No, it can't. It could be, but if it was, Bitcoin would have not been rejected here and it would have continued trading up, but it didn't. So I'm not seeing it. Sorry. All right, guys. I think I'm going to call it a day there. Thank you all very much for tuning into this live stream. and yeah, I'm gonna call it a live stream there. So thank you all very much for tuning in. If you have enjoyed it, then please do hit up the likes and subscribe. You already know the drill. We're blowing up. Thank you all very much for the support. If you're finding this analysis useful, you want to make sure that you can keep on getting it. So subscribing is a great way to do that. Also, these steps on screen will take you into VIP. Like I said, we have way too much demand than we can handle right now. We've never had a scaling issue before because I've worked very hard to make sure that we wouldn't on the product side and on the onboarding side, bringing you guys on. But right now, it's gotten a bit too much. So I am looking at potentially closing down registrations for a little bit. So if you want to get in, now's your time. You can even have a phone call with a member of the team or even myself. I do try and drop into these calls where I can. And you can request that by following these steps on screen if you do want to join VIP and gain access to our advanced course and academy and things like that. And of course, with our yearly plan, you're also getting phone calls with me. So there's a lot for you to gain access to. You can just ask for the details for it by following these steps on screen. And then of course, like I said, if you want even a phone call with a member of our team, to see if you would be a good fit for 4Flies VIP, then you can also request that. These 3 steps on screen, first link in the description down below, is going to take you to our free Telegram channel. This is our Telegram channel where we're giving you more analysis around the clock from myself, from my team. We're giving you updates when these live streams are happening, when these videos are going up, and more, even insights into my trades. And then if you really want to take it to that next level, then this button down here, the @4Flies button at the bottom of any post inside of 4Flies Gold, is going to take you to this screen right here, where you can click on send message to ask me how to join VIP. And when you do that, I'll send you all the information about it. Thank you all very, very much for tuning in. I really, really appreciate all of your support. Hope you guys have been enjoying these live streams and videos. Hopefully you've been seeing that the quality has been going up in terms of analysis. I certainly think that the analysis has been very, very good lately, so I'm quite happy with it. If you are looking for a place to trade, then Bybit once again is the place to be. I've been with them for years. I can't stress this enough how much I've tried out a bunch of different exchanges. This is definitely one of my favorite ones that I've come to. Definitely check it out with the link in the description down below. That is a sign up link which you can use, where you're actually going to gain up to $1,600 completely free, depending on how much you deposit. So you get to keep that money no matter what. You just have to deposit a little bit. You're going to get that extra cash deposited into your account by Bybit. You can trade with it. Any profits you make are yours. You can do a crazy 100x trade. Just see what happens. You can be a little bit more sensible with it, play around with the buttons on the exchange, whatever you like. It's your money. It's a gift because of this beautiful referral program. So definitely check it out. I've been with Bybit for years. Absolutely love them. I am in the United States, so I'm using a VPN, and of course others in the US will need that, but I cannot endorse that. So there you go. Hope you really have enjoyed this live stream though. Thank you all very, very much for tuning in, and I'll see you all in the next one. Have a great day. Bye-bye.